Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hey everyone, checking in on the MJ space today. We had some bulls out. I'm just kidding. We had some bulls out today, and we have a number of reasons. Why was the MJ sector green today? Number one, US and China have in principle agreed on a deal. It hasn't been signed yet, but that launched the S&P 500 to all-time highs today. Number two, there's a rumor going around that Ontario is going to announce an additional 500 stores on Monday. Number three, Massachusetts is back to selling their vapes after the ban in relation to the lung issues that people were having. So a little bit of good news out there. The bulls, short term, are looking good. And the inside bar bull break today was a good sign. Personally today, I was not at the computer trading until about 2 p.m. I missed the majority of today, but I came back guns blazing here in the afternoon, and I have some bigger positions than I normally have been taking. And that's giving the bulls another chance to break 2168 resistance on CGC tomorrow. If the bulls can do that, that will continue this momentum shift, and that will be a good sign. Bull cross of the 12 and 26 period, getting a bit more follow through, pointed that out a couple times and why that matters, just in the sense that it's the first cross that we've seen for the bulls in a long time. And one of our members or moderators, Julian, pointing out that if you have gone long anytime in the last year and a half plus of CGC on a bull cross of these exponential moving averages on the daily time frame, and if you sell on a bear cross, you win every single time. And obviously it's a fairly limited sample size, but we're talking about 4 or 5 examples where that would work out. So bulls are hoping that that's going to be the case here again, as the bull cross will certainly be very clear if 2168 resistance breaks. 2248 is the next level after that. Best case scenario tomorrow for the bulls, break 2168 and get follow through in the first hour of trading and give us more than 6.5 million shares traded, close the weekend strong, have that rumor alive for potential Ontario stores on Monday. That'd be a good end of the week. So coming in late to the day today, I entered a position on CGC during this consolidation. My average is 20.99. I am swinging a position, and I'm going to give the bulls a chance first thing tomorrow morning. So 20.99 is my average. I did put a stop below 20.89 because if that level were to have broken in the last hour of trading, the odds of a strong close would have greatly diminished. 4-hour time frame. Let's look at the other side. What if we reject? If we reject, which is entirely possible, if we see a 2% bull move first thing tomorrow morning to get to resistance, but we do not have enough momentum to follow through, we have a 4-hour equilibrium setup where we have our high, low, and it would be a lower high. So the bulls have to follow through and break this resistance level. Ideally, I would have liked to have seen an hourly higher low established this afternoon, which it wasn't. So again, the hourly RSI, if we're going to head up to test 2168 first thing tomorrow, that hourly RSI is going to be a bit extended. So there are definitely scenarios where bears are going to be top fishing 2168 resistance and making a stand at that level first thing. So we'll have a battle first thing tomorrow morning that will be key for whether or not these bulls finally get their nice big old momentum shift that we have been waiting for. APHA. So for probably a couple weeks at this point, we have been saying how CGC and APHA have stood out as the lead bulls. And today, APHA said, forget you, CGC, I'm the lead bull in this space. And they proved it. We had a little daily higher low, a bull break, and we flew through 518 resistance. We got all the way up to 532 today, which is about a 3% follow-through move over that resistance. And just to compare, if CGC were going to go 3% over 2168, we'd be looking at 2230s. So that is follow through that we have not seen on CGC yet. We have it on APHA. I entered APHA roughly the same time as I entered CGC. Again, I'm choosing to play the lead bulls. and we had not broken 518 yet. 518 was the level of resistance. We broke this triple top, 511, 09, 08. As soon as I saw all those levels break, I said, okay, bulls have some nice momentum. We rejected from 518 the first time. We consolidated for a 5-minute higher low. I then said, all right, that's good enough for me. I'm entering at 517 because I don't want to be buying after 518 breaks with everybody else and chasing. And my stop was below this higher low of 512. So I was risking 5 or 6 cents entering at 517, and we ended up going 10 plus cents. And I actually did a little trade in there as well. I sold half, getting overextended, sold half at 527, reloaded that same half at 522. So now my break even is 514.5 for my average. And that just makes me a lot more comfortable. That makes me more patient tomorrow morning. You know, if my average is 525 and we start tomorrow first thing and reject and pull back, I'm going to very quickly be red. Whereas if I have an average at 514, 515, we could reject, pull back 2%, and I'm just break even at that point. So much more comfortable on the APHA trade because of the bull follow through than I am on the CGC trade. But again, it's been a good December. It's been a good week for trading MJ stocks. So I am perfectly willing to accept some risk and swing a little bit of some bigger positions, just more exposure to the sector as a whole than I have taken on probably any time in the last month. ACB, solid day today, but again, still not proving anything. We're not even at the high of the week. So 264 was our top, and we have not broken that yet. If the bulls want to play catch up, they got to get over 264 quickly. 282 would be the next level after that. Daily higher low established at 244. So that's now our most important support level, 244 for APHA. The most important support level is the daily higher low, now at 484. So you need to determine what time frame you are most concerned with. If you're making an entry based on daily 12 and 26 period exponential crosses, you're not going to be exiting based on the hourly time frame. If your reason for entry is on a certain time frame, then your reason for exiting should be on that time frame as well. So that's just a little note to not get too hung up on the shorter term time frames. That's what we got for ACB. Cron stood out today. Cron had a big green day, still over 10% from our high of 805, which is why it's still a weaker name than APHA and CGC, but it's catching up, and some nice solid bull volume. Green Marubozu candlestick, highest volume that we've seen in a couple weeks, and a bull break of multiple inside bars. The bull break of the inside bar was 702. Certainly top fishing and going bearish at $7 today would not have worked out. And again, it's the kind of thing that works a half dozen times. Now it hasn't worked, and the bears in the sector getting a little bit of a notice today. Things are not going to be as easy as they have been. Cron breaking $7 very convincingly is one little example of that. APHA breaking 518 convincingly is another example of that. We just need CGC to get over 2168. VFF, green day today, but still not nearly as strong as other names. Anything under 693 is a lower high. We did establish a higher low compared to 592. And if we can break 693, then we do have a daily trend change that has occurred, but we are 10% away just from breaking that lower high. And we are over 20% away, we're 30% away from breaking the top of the oversold bounce. Still a lot of work to do, but at least at this point, the bulls do have a higher low of support. OGI, bulls didn't do much today. Support was 251. We bounced off 251, so we're staying in the channel, but bulls have to break 273 in order to prove an equilibrium breaking bullish. 273 or bust. Hexo, nice little daily higher low. Most important support is now 212, and resistance, bulls have to get over 230 to see follow through. And that is the Canadian MJ space. So a little bit of buzz, a little bit of excitement out there. You can certainly feel it when looking at the gains out there. 7%, 6%, 8%, 4%. Solid gains out there. The market euphoria is certainly palpable with the potential for the signing of the China-US trade deal. The S&P 500 ripped to all-time highs in the first 10 minutes of trading today. Other than that, all eyes will be on CGC and 2168 first thing tomorrow morning. Breaking it is great. I want to break it, set a 5-minute higher low, and then a new high of the day. That shows me follow through. And that's what I'm going to be looking for conviction from these bulls. It's going to be an interesting Friday tomorrow to end off the week. USMJ, I am shocked that Curaleaf closed red with that news out of Massachusetts. Curaleaf has a large presence in Massachusetts, and they were not allowed to sell vape cartridges, and now they're allowed to again. No reaction. Equilibrium still stands. Curaleaf at this point is very similar to OGI. Sideways equilibrium still intact. Bulls have to break 810 and 821 for a clear bull break and follow through. TRUL, we got the oversold bounce. Quick little bear break of the low of yesterday. First thing, oversold bounce, got some nice follow through initially, but that was it. So we have to break 1620 for this bounce to get followed through tomorrow. We have clear 15-minute higher lows to be watching. 1569, 1573, 1575. So the higher lows are there to be watching. Have to break 1620, and you can see the majority of that bounce happened due to illiquidity, where bulls all piled in at once and ran the price up real quick, but there wasn't a whole lot of follow through after that. Keeping in mind that even if we do get follow through over that 1620 resistance, we will just be looking for a daily lower high compared to $18. CWeb. So CWeb is on the verge of a bear break, 1136, and technically it already broke. Closing weak, no support aside from 11 psychological. Anything on the daily under 1231 is just a lower high. Bears own CWeb at this point. IAN getting some nice bounce follow through. Strong close the last 2 days. We know anything under 199 is just a daily lower high, but it's a good sign to break support and then bounce immediately after it. We will need a daily trend change for it to be meaningful, but bulls will certainly take it at this point. Aside from 199, you can also be watching this downtrend resistance line, although it looks like we are just breaking above that downtrend resistance line. And we could put a support line. Not exactly a descending triangle, but fairly close to that setup. Either way, for me, it's always price levels. So I would need to see a top out, a higher low, and a higher high. And that brings us to CL and OH, because they have seen very impressive bounces on their daily time frames, but we will need the daily trend changes to be convinced. I am convinced that we can form a daily higher low from here. I am not convinced that we can change the daily trend, and that's what I have to see to be a believer. So very notable bounce. The CL bulls are leading the way, taking out some resistances now. 888 and 889 is our double top for the highest prices that we've seen in over 2 months. And bears are going to be waiting there. But if the bulls can top out under that level, breaking it would be ideal, but if we top out under that level, form a daily bull flag, and then break that resistance, it would be a notable shift in momentum. OH, solid bounce as well. We will be looking for a daily higher low compared to 350 when it tops out. Not breaking nearly as many resistances as CL, but impressive. Bulls will take it. It was a bear break of 363 with no follow through. Still need the daily trend change, but at least the bulls have space to work with. GTII still weak. Bulls have to break 1193 or it means nothing. Support is down at 1064. MedMen, impressive. So again, even if you don't like MedMen's financials and you don't like their management and you don't own any shares, if I own shares in a USMJ name, I want to see MedMen doing this. Again, remember my point that we want to see the sector moving as a whole. That shows sentiment. One individual name can have sentiment, but that individual name will perform much better if it's sector-wide sentiment. So I cannot like MedMen, but if I have USMJ, it's a good thing that we just saw this kind of a bounce off of the all-time low, and obviously a momentum shift in MedMen has taken place. We broke support by 1 penny, and then rocket ship, big bounce. Resistance is 65, which we blew through. So now we're looking at 72 and 76. Don't forget big picture. Anything under 187 is a weekly lower high. We are not changing this weekly trend anytime soon, but we're bouncing and looking for the weekly lower high to be set. And again, the bulls have space to work with now to form a daily higher low whenever we top out. And it doesn't look like we've topped out yet after that really strong close at the end of the day. So remember what I said yesterday, bigger picture, we need weekly trend changes in order for clear shifts in momentum that we can anticipate to potentially last months, but we will certainly take daily trend changes to start it off. So all about CGC, and tomorrow look for clues in other individual names. For example, if APHA starts tomorrow, opens at 529, rejects from 532, and then drops down and breaks 521 instantly, that's going to make me a lot more cautious on CGC. We want to see everybody break their high of today in the first 20 minutes of trading tomorrow for this momentum to continue. And it would be a nice time for anybody to release any bullish news that they've got to try and push this scale in favor of the bulls. So hope you had a good day. Hope you have a good night. And we'll see what tomorrow brings. 2168 CGC.